The laughter of the galaxy. The Galactic Council chamber was alive with noise. Voices echoed across the crystal hall. Laughter mixed with sharp words. Alien banners glowed along the walls, each color showing the pride of great empires. At the center, delegates argued, their eyes glowing, claws tapping, wings flaring. The topic was Earth humans, newcomers to the stars, sat at the lowest table. 3 delegates in plain dark uniforms. Their presence was small compared to the shining robes and golden armor of alien leaders. Yet their silence carried weight. A scaled ambassador rose, his voice sharp. Humans call themselves members of this council, but what have they given us? They are primitive. They are fragile. They come late to the stars and act as if they matter. His words drew laughter from across the hall. A feathered delegate leaned forward, his wings folding back with disdain. I studied their ships. They are small, weak, and slow. Their weapons are nothing compared to ours. Why do we waste time on these soft creatures? The laughter grew louder, tails thumping, claws scraping against tables. Crystalline beings rang their voices like broken bells. They cannot even defend their own colonies. They cry for help whenever raiders strike. They are not warriors. They are children. The human delegation did not answer. They sat calm, their faces unreadable. Their silence only made the mockery grow sharper. One tusked alien slammed his fist against the table. If Earth wishes to stay in this council, let them pay tribute. Let them give us soldiers, medals, whatever scraps they have. Weak races must serve strong ones. The room cheered. Voices, mixing in cruel harmony. But among the chaos, a few whispers rose. A merchant guildmaster spoke quietly to his neighbor. Did you hear the story? Raiders near the rim vanished. No wreckage, no survivors, his companion hissed. Rumors, nothing more. Humans are too weak to fight back. Yet unease flickered in their eyes. The scaled ambassador raised his arms again. Let us put this to a vote. Shall humans remain among us or be cast aside as the primitive creatures they are? Laughter roared once more, but not all were laughing from the heart. Some hid unease. Some remembered the strange stories of shadows moving in deep space. Still, the pride of the council drowned out doubt. At last, the alien leader turned to the human ambassador, his voice dripping with scorn. Humans speak, tell us, why should you stay among the great powers of this galaxy? The human slowly rose from his seat, his uniform plain, no shining jewels or flashing colors. He looked around the chamber, meeting the gaze of every alien, his eyes steady, his voice calm. You call us primitive. You call us weak. You may laugh. He paused, letting the silence fall heavy. But we are not weak. We are patient. The words hung in the air like iron. For a moment, the chamber grew quiet. Then laughter broke out again, forced and sharp. Aliens sneered. Patience cannot stop fleets. Patience cannot build dreadnoughts. Patience is weakness. The human ambassador did not argue. He sat back down, folding his hands. His silence felt heavier than all the noise in the room. The council voted Earth would remain, but only as a minor voice. They mocked as they wrote the decision, believing they had put humans in their place once again. As the session ended, alien leaders left with laughter still spilling from their mouths, but a few glanced back at the human table, uneasy without knowing why. Outside the chamber, whispers spread. Again, traders repeated tales of giant shadows. Pilots swore stars vanished for moments at a time. Rumors traveled faster than ships, and while the council laughed, fear grew in dark corners of the galaxy. The human delegation walked out together, not broken, not defeated. Their steps were steady, their silence sharper than any threat. They carried a secret in their eyes, a secret the galaxy was not ready to face. For in the silence of hidden dockyards, beyond the sight of alien scanners, humanity's greatest creation waited. A weapon forged not from arrogance but from patience, and soon, the galaxy would learn the price of its laughter. Fleets at the border, along the rim of human space, stars, burned faint and lonely. Small colonies clung to survival, their minds digging into rock, their farms struggling against thin soil. To alien eyes, these were weak outposts, nothing more than prey waiting to be taken. The first alien fleet arrived. Without warning, cruisers and raider ships descended upon a human mining station. Their commanders laughed. Earth will not fight back, they will beg as always, weapons charged. But something unexpected happened. The human defenses fired. Old cannons on orbital platforms roared, militia ships scrambled, battered frigates moved into position. They were not strong, but they fought with a stubbornness that shocked the raiders. Instead of begging, the humans bled and resisted. The aliens destroyed the station, but at a high cost. Several of their ships fell to human fire, their commanders growled, primitive, but not cowards. News reached the council. The scaled ambassador laughed. So they scratch, like insects. They cannot resist for long. The feathered delegates agreed. A broken colony proves nothing. They will soon be crushed. But then, more reports came. A second fleet vanished, sent to patrol near the rim. It had been powerful. Dreadnoughts, cruisers, and escorts. Yet no wreckage was found, no distress signal sent. The fleet was gone. Traders whispered in dark cantinas. I saw it. One swore, a shadow in the void, it swallowed the fleet as if the stars themselves disappeared. His listeners shook their heads, calling it a drunk story, but fear crept into their eyes. The council dismissed it again. Lies, tricks, perhaps they destroyed themselves. But unease spread. The galaxy was filled with too many whispers now. Back on Earth, deep underground, generals studied the reports. The human ambassador stood with them, watching red lights blink on holographic maps. Each light marked an alien fleet gone silent. The general said, "The test was successful." The ambassador nodded. "Let them laugh. Their laughter is our cover." In secret shipyards hidden among asteroid belts, engineers worked tirelessly. Sparks rained as massive hull plates were lowered into place. Machines roared, weapons hummed. Humanity's great project continued in silence. Meanwhile, the aliens grew bolder. Another fleet advanced, determined to show Earth its place. They entered the rim, broadcasting threats. "Surrender or burn," they declared. Colonists trembled, children hidden in shelters. But once again something moved in the void. Sensors failed. Stars vanished. A colossal shadow appeared for a heartbeat, then faded as if it had never been. Alien captains shouted in confusion. Their radars showed empty space, yet their crews swore something vast had passed above them. Then the attacks began. Small human ships appeared from nowhere, striking with precision. Missiles tore into cruisers. Fighter wings ripped through escorts. The fleet broke apart, desperate to escape, but every path was cut. Minutes later, silence returned. The rim was safe, and another alien fleet was gone. The council could no longer ignore it. The crystalline delegates hissed, "Something is hunting our fleets." The scaled ones growled, "If humans are behind this, they must be punished." Yet none of them had proof. They mocked Earth in public, but in private fear gnawed at their pride. In taverns across neutral space, whispers grew louder. "The humans hide something," one said. "A weapon, a giant ship, something the galaxy has never seen." Others nodded. Some laughed nervously, but none could deny that fleets were vanishing. Inside the council chamber, the human delegation remained silent. Their calm faces gave nothing away. The feathered ambassador shouted at them, "Do you deny it? Do you deny the whispers?" The human ambassador only replied, "We are not weak, we are patient." The chamber filled with angry voices, but none could silence the unease spreading through every empire. On Earth, families lived their lives unaware of the full scale of the secret. Farmers tended crops, children played in streets. But above them, in hidden orbit, massive engines pulsed quietly, waiting to awaken. Humanity had prepared for centuries, and now their time was near. At the rim, raiders hesitated before entering human space. They had once mocked the idea of fear, but now they looked at the stars differently. They wondered if the shadows were watching. The galaxy laughed at humans, but the laughter grew weaker. What once sounded like power now cracked with doubt. And Somewhere in the dark between stars, humanity's wrath waited, silent and patient. Secrets forged in silence. Far from the busy trade routes of the galaxy, hidden behind asteroid belts and forgotten stars, humanity worked in silence. While alien empires mocked them in shining halls, Earth's engineers and soldiers built something greater than words. Inside hollowed asteroids, massive shipyards glowed with light. Sparks rained as steel plates the size of mountains were lowered into place. Machines hummed. Welding arms moved endlessly. Every bolt, every wire, every weapon was fitted with care. This was not just construction, it was survival. The project had no name spoken outside, but those who worked there whispered one word with pride: supercarrier. It was not a single ship, but the beginning of a fleet. Giants larger than alien dreadnoughts, armed with weapons no scanner had ever seen. Each carried thousands of fighters, hidden hangars, and cloaking fields that swallowed starlight itself. Life inside the yards was harsh, but none complained. Engineers slept beside their work, pilots trained until their hands bled, soldiers drilled in long halls, learning how to strike as one. "We are Earth's shield," they said. "We are Earth's fire." In the command chambers, generals studied alien weaknesses. They knew the Council too well. Arrogant, blind, slow to believe. "They laugh at us," one general said. "Good. Let them laugh. It gives us time." The ambassador who faced that laughter simply nodded. "Their pride is our cloak." Meanwhile, alien spies hunted for answers. They bribed traitors, hacked into comms, even tried to land on human worlds. What they found was strange. Shattered fragments of data, blurry images of shadows across the stars, whispers of ships that could not be measured. They carried these scraps back to their masters, but the council leaders laughed. "Tricks," they said. Humans spread rumors to hide their weakness. Yet some could not shake the unease. They remembered the fleets that vanished, the stories of shadows. Back on Earth, young pilots sat in dark simulators, their eyes locked on glowing screens, training against impossible odds. Some were only 18, but their voices were steady. "We fight for Earth. We fight for tomorrow." Orbit above, a skeleton of another supercarrier drifted, massive engines humming faintly, waiting to be born. The stars themselves seemed too small beside it. Humanity had hidden their strength not out of pride, but out of necessity. For generations they had been ignored, mocked, treated as prey. But humans had patience. They turned silence into steel. In one shipyard, the first completed Titan Dawn floated in silence. Its black hull reflected nothing. Its weapons glowed faintly as if alive. Entire fleets could vanish behind its shadow. Entire empires could tremble at its passing. Yet it waited, silent, patient, just like its makers. At a secret meeting deep under Earth's surface, leaders reviewed the progress. Holograms of ships glowed across the table. The general spoke. "The galaxy does not yet fear us." The ambassador replied, "Then we are not ready. Let them laugh longer. Their fear will come." Still, rumors refused to die. In taverns across alien space, traders swore they saw stars vanish for minutes. Miners whispered of hearing engines in places where no fleet should be. Pilots spoke of shadows larger than worlds. No one could prove it, but no one could ignore it. In one distant system, a raider captain shouted in terror as his sensors failed. A black shape slid across his view, too large to understand. His crew screamed. Then all went silent. His ship was never seen again. The galaxy told itself humans were weak. Yet in the darkness, secrets grew. Humanity had forged its wrath in silence. They had turned patience into a weapon, and soon, that weapon would burn across the stars. The first clash, the human colony of Eris 12 floated quietly on the rim of known space. Its surface was scarred with mines and farms. Its people worked hard but lived in fear. They knew the galaxy mocked them. They knew help from the Council would never come. That fear came true when an alien fleet appeared above the skies. Dozens of cruisers, dreadnoughts, and raider ships formed a wall of firepower. The alien commander laughed, his voice echoing across open channels. "Primitive humans, Surrender your world or burn. Panic spread through the colony. Families ran into bunkers. Militia pilots scrambled into outdated fighters. Their ships were slow, their weapons weak. Still, they rose into the sky. They would not surrender. The alien fleet opened fire. Energy beams cut across the sky. Explosions tore through defense platforms. The militia fought bravely, but they were outnumbered and outgunned. The colony's governor whispered into a comm channel, "Earth, if you hear us, this is our last stand." Then, everything changed. The stars above the battlefield seemed to flicker. Darkness spread like a shadow swallowing the void. Alien scanners failed. Alarms screamed across enemy bridges. The commander shouted, "What is this? Report!" From the dark, a shape emerged. Vast, black, and endless. At first, the aliens thought it was a moon, but it moved. Weapons lit across its surface like fire in the night. The human supercarrier Dawn had arrived. The alien fleet froze. Their arrogance cracked as they stared at the impossible. "It cannot be human," one officer whispered. "No primitive world could build this." But denial could not save them. The hangar doors of Dawn opened, and the void filled with human fighters. Hundreds poured out in perfect formation, sleek, fast, their weapons glowing. They streaked toward the alien fleet like a storm of fire. The battle began with fury. Human fighters tore through alien formations. Missiles struck cruisers. Railguns split dreadnoughts apart. Alien captains screamed as their ships crumbled under precision strikes. On the ground, colonists watched in awe. From bunkers and rooftops, they saw the giant shadow shield their world. They saw human fire raining down on the enemy. Their fear turned to pride. Tears filled their eyes as they whispered, "We are not alone, Earth has come." The alien commander tried to rally his fleet. "Concentrate fire on the carrier." But scanners failed. Weapons locked onto empty space. The supercarrier's cloak bent every signal, making it untouchable. And when it chose to strike, it struck with power the galaxy had never seen. A beam of pure energy erupted from Dawn's main cannon, slicing through the enemy flagship. The dreadnought cracked apart, explosions tearing through its hull. The commander's last words were screams. Panic spread through the alien armada. Some ships tried to retreat, but human interceptors cut them down. Others fought desperately, but every move was answered by a human strike. Minutes felt like hours, and then it was over. Silence returned to the sky above Eris 12. Wreckage drifted in flames. The alien fleet was gone, destroyed completely. The colony stood safe, protected by a shadow that the Council swore did not exist. On the bridge of Dawn, the human captain stood tall, his crew silent, steady, there, eyes fixed on the screens filled with victory. "The galaxy wanted proof," he said calmly. "Now they have it." Across the stars, survivors spread word of what they had seen. "It was no illusion," one alien whispered in terror. "A ship so large it swallowed fleets, a storm of human fire." Panic grew in every empire. The Council gathered again in secret. The crystalline. Delegates clanged in fear. "If humans have one of these, how many more do they build in the dark?" No one had answers, but silence fell heavy. For the first time in centuries, the Council feared, and in hidden shipyards, humanity built in silence. More titans drifted in shadows, waiting. The galaxy's laughter was gone, replaced with whispers. Of dread, the first clash was over, but it was only the beginning. Panic in the Council. The Council chamber had never been so loud. Voices clashed like thunder, wings flapped, claws slammed against crystal tables. The air shook with fear. The news of Eris 12 had spread faster than light. Entire fleets destroyed. A colony saved. And at the center of every story was the same thing. A shadow that blotted out the stars. A ship too large, too powerful, too human. The scaled ambassador roared, "This is war. If humans have such a weapon, they must be stopped before it is." Too late. The crystalline beings clanged their voices in agreement. "They lied to us. They hid their power in the dark. They are dangerous." The feathered ambassador screeched, "No, it cannot be. It is impossible for primitives to build such a thing. It must be stolen." Perhaps they copied technology from us. His words trembled. His feathers shook. Others whispered quietly. If they built one, could they build more? That question cut deeper than any insult. The chamber fell silent for a moment, every delegate imagining the same nightmare, an entire fleet of shadows descending on their worlds. The human delegation sat in their usual place, plain uniforms, calm faces. They had not spoken once. Their silence was like a knife in the room. Finally, a tusked warlord slammed his fist. Answer us, human. How many of these monsters do you hide? Is this your plan, to rise against us? His voice carried both rage and fear. The human ambassador slowly stood. His eyes met theirs without flinching. His voice was steady, quiet but sharp. You mocked us as primitive. You laughed at us as weak. And while you laughed, we built the Yao. Words sent a ripple across the chamber. Delegates shouted, lies, threats, we admit the truth. But the ambassador did not continue. He simply sat back down, folding his hands. His silence was heavier than all their noise. In hidden corners of the galaxy, panic grew. On merchant worlds, captains refused to travel near human borders. Insurance rates for convoys tripled. Miners abandoned systems too close to Earth's rim. The shadows will come, they whispered. On the homeworld of the Scaled Empire, generals gathered in war rooms. Holograms of wrecked ships lit the air. Their firepower matches 10 of our fleets. One admitted with a growl, if they build more, we will not stop them. Pride fought against fear, but fear was winning. Priests among the feathered people declared omens. The humans bring a demon of steel, sent to punish us for arrogance. Their citizens filled temples with prayers. Fear spread in streets, stronger than faith. Back in the council chamber, the debate raged for hours. Some demanded war. Strike Earth now before they reveal more ships. Others cried for peace. Negotiate. Beg if we must, better than extinction. For the first time, the mighty empires of the galaxy argued not from strength, but from fear. The human delegation watched, silent. Their calm presence made every word feel smaller. It was as if the galaxy's rulers no longer controlled the chamber, but the three quiet figures at the low table did. Finally, the council leader raised his hand. His voice shook. We must know, human, we must know the truth. How many of these ships do you hold? The ambassador did not rise this time. His answer was a whisper, but every ear caught it. Enough. The word froze the chamber. No number, no detail, just a shadow in a single word. Enough to defend, enough to destroy, enough to make the galaxy tremble. The session ended in chaos. Delegates fled, some shouting for war, others whispering for peace. None found comfort. None found courage. Outside the chamber, the human delegation walked out together, their steps steady, their silence sharper than steel. The ambassador's last whisper echoed in every alien's mind. Meanwhile, in secret shipyards hidden in the void, engines roared as more titans awoke. The galaxy's panic was not built on rumor anymore. It was built on truth, and Earth had only begun to show its fire. The firestorm. The galaxy's pride could not survive in silence. Too many fleets had vanished. Too many rumors spread. At last, two great empires united. Their leaders stood in war halls, claws shaking as they pointed at star maps. If humans have one supership, we will crush it with numbers. Our two armadas together will erase them from the stars. The plan was simple. Strike deep into human space with overwhelming force. Burn colonies, break defenses, and drag Earth back into submission. Each armada stretched across the void. Hundreds of ships, dreadnoughts, carriers, cruisers, fighters swarming like locusts. The largest force ever gathered against a single. World colonists across the rim watched the skies with fear. They remembered whispers of shadows of dawn, but they wondered, was one ship enough against this storm? Even human militia captains questioned. We fought raiders, yes, but this is too much. The fleets advanced. Their commanders laughed on open channels. Come out, humans. Show us your primitive strength. We will bury your weak world under fire. At first, the skies above the rim remained quiet. Human colonies braced for death. Families huddled in bunkers, Soldiers readied rifles they knew would never touch a dreadnought. Then, space itself seemed to shiver. The stars flickered. A shadow darker than the void slid into view, then another and another, until the horizon of space was filled with shapes too large to name. The alien fleets froze. Sensors screamed with errors. Captains shouted in panic. Multiple contacts. Impossible numbers. The human supercarriers had arrived, not one, not two, but many. Their black hulls swallowed starlight, their engines glowed like suns. Fighters poured from their hangars in endless streams, filling the void with fire. The battle began in an instant. Human interceptors streaked across alien lines. Missiles split cruisers apart. Railguns shredded carriers. Alien formations collapsed under precision strikes. The first armada tried to regroup, but dawn moved forward. Its main cannon lit the void. A beam of pure energy cut through a dreadnought, splitting it in half. The explosion rocked ships miles away. Entire squadrons broke in fear. The second armada charged, desperate to overwhelm. But human carriers opened their full firepower. Torpedoes, beams, and fighters struck at once. Alien ships exploded one after another, like sparks in a storm. On the ground, colonists watched from shelters. Their skies turned into fire. They saw alien wrecks fall burning into the void. They saw the shadows of Earth's titans shield their world. Pride filled their hearts where fear once lived. Children whispered, "We are not weak, we are strong." Alien commanders screamed into channels, "Retreat, retreat." But retreat was impossible. Every path was cut by human fleets. Every shadow carried death. The firestorm consumed them. Minutes stretched like hours. Alien ships fought desperately, but the outcome was clear. One by one, their armadas crumbled. Hundreds of ships reduced to wreckage, flames drifting across the black. The galaxy's greatest fleets had been broken in a single day. On the bridge of dawn, the human captain stood calm, his crew silent, their faces lit by victory. "This is not conquest," he said softly. "This is survival." His words carried across the comms of every ship in the fleet. Let the galaxy see what patience has forged. When the last alien vessel fell, silence returned to the stars. Only wreckage drifted, a graveyard of arrogance and pride. Humanity had faced two armadas united and crushed them beneath fire. The council received the news in horror. Delegates screamed, "Impossible! Impossible!" Some wept, some raged, but none could deny the truth. Humanity was no longer a minor voice. Humanity was a storm. In taverns, traders whispered, "Two armadas gone in hours." Priests declared it judgment. Generals tore their claws against tables. Citizens of alien empires looked at the stars. With dread, and in hidden shipyards, engines of new titans roared. Humanity had proven itself, but they were not done. The galaxy had mocked Earth as primitive. Now their laughter burned among wreckage, and the firestorm had only begun. The galaxy trembles. The galaxy was silent. The silence was heavier than war, heavier than fire. It spread from the ruins of two armadas to the furthest trade routes, to temples, to thrones, to markets where citizens whispered in fear. No one laughed. At Earth anymore, on the council homeworld, the chamber filled again. But this time there was no mockery, no cruel jokes. The delegates sat in unease, their voices low. The crystalline beings flickered nervously, their tones unsteady. The feathered lords kept their wings tucked tight. The scaled generals avoided each other's eyes. The human delegation entered in silence, three figures in plain uniforms. They did not speak at first. They simply walked to their seats calm as stone. Their presence alone bent the room. Finally, the council leader's voice cracked through the quiet. "Two armadas destroyed in hours," he whispered. "By human hands. This should not be possible." And Saud, alien delegate, cried out, "What do you want from us humans? What do you demand? Do you seek tribute? Do you seek thrones?" His voice shook, more plea than challenge. The human ambassador rose slowly. His gaze moved across the chamber, steady and cold. "We do not seek thrones. We do not seek tribute," he said. "We seek respect." His words struck like thunder. The scaled general snarled, trying to hold on to pride. "Respect? You have it now, but how many of these monsters have you built? How many shadows wait in the dark? The ambassador's voice did not rise. It was calm, sharper than blades. Enough. The word echoed. Simple, final, unstoppable. Delegates froze. Some shivered. Others lowered their heads. The weight of that single word was more crushing than numbers. Above the council world, shadows moved again. The stars dimmed as engines lit. 1, 2, 3 more supercarriers revealed themselves. In orbit, they hung like mountains in the sky, silent, watching. Humanity had chosen to show its hand, and the galaxy trembled. Citizens on the planet's surface ran into streets, pointing at the sky. Temples filled with prayers. Generals barked orders they knew were useless. Families wept, not from attack, but from awe and fear. The sun itself seemed smaller compared to Earth's titans. Inside the chamber, no one spoke. The laughter of centuries was gone. The arrogance of empires was gone. All that remained was fear. The human ambassador gave his final words. His voice carried into every corner of the hall. You mocked us as primitive. You treated us as prey. You demanded tribute. You thought Earth was weak. He leaned forward, his voice a whisper yet louder than thunder. But we are not weak. We are patient. He sat down, folding his hands as if nothing more needed to be said. The council leader tried to speak, but no words came. He bowed his head, unable to face the silence. The session ended, not with debate, but with surrender of pride across the galaxy. Rulers whispered behind closed doors. Some called for peace, others for alliances. None spoke of war. Not anymore. The fear of humanity spread faster than fleets. In neutral taverns, smugglers raised their glasses. The age of humans has begun, they said. In temples, priests prayed for mercy. The humans have awakened. Their fire. In barracks, alien soldiers whispered, we trained to fight each other, not them. On Earth, children looked at the skies with pride. They knew the galaxy had laughed at their people. But now, the galaxy bowed in silence. Farmers, workers, soldiers, engineers all felt the same truth. They had built something greater than survival. They had built respect. In hidden shipyards, more titans waited, engines humming in silence. Humanity would not reveal their full strength, not yet. They had shown only enough to make the galaxy tremble. The supercarriers drifted above the council world like giants carved from the void, unmoving, untouchable. Proof that humanity had risen, and across the stars, from the richest throne rooms to the poorest streets, one truth echoed again. And again, the galaxy would never mock Earth again.